Let's bring to you Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, guys. It's good to chat with you again. What's going on?
Well, I know that you probably look at this in a far more practical manner than I do, but do you ever scoreboard watch the Rays and think, hey, we could get that best record in baseball going?
No, I'll be honest. No, I haven't been watching that. Well, first of all, they're not in our division, but second of all, I mean, we're a third of the way in the season, so I'm not really scoreboard watching. We got to go out and keep doing our thing, and I tell you what, these guys are doing a great job. Yesterday, that's a tough day. Travel day, you have to come back play another day game. They just keep on impressing me on how they come out ready to go every day.
Boch, you can take this in any direction you want here. What are you most surprised with this season from your team or specifically from a player?
You know what? I would say as much as anything is how well the defense has played. Not that I didn't think, we could be good defensively. I didn't know Josh Young, that well, obviously, because I wasn't here last year. And what an incredible job he's done at third base. Another really nice day yesterday. I did know Corey and Marcus, so I knew we were solid there. But, I think everywhere we've done a really nice job defensively. We've turned big double plays. Jonah does a great job behind the plate. That's something I really wanted to emphasize as much as anything as I hit spring training, because I felt like this starting pitching would be our strength, and we had to catch the ball. So I look at the work that these guys put in and what Corey Ragsdale has done with these guys, along with Tony Beasley and Venable in the outfield. They work these guys every day. They do a really nice job, and it's paid off.
Now, there was some projection by some folks that maybe, since you mentioned Josh Young, that he might hit, like seventh in the lineup or something along those lines. How much is there more pressure inherently, or how much of a bigger deal is it that Josh Young is doing all the offensive stuff, hitting usually fifth as opposed to in the bottom third of the lineup?
Yeah, and you know what? I had no problem putting him in that 5-hole. Just watching him in spring training, I just love the way he attacks the ball. He's got some nice discipline at the plate. He controls the strike zone. I mean, like all of us, he'll chase once in a while, but overall, I think he's done a really good job with trying to get a good pitch and drive it. And the thing I like is he lets it go when he gets his pitch. So he's looking to do damage. But with two strikes, he'll shorten things up a little bit. No, I love his makeup. I really thought he would have no problem or feel any pressure hitting in that 5-hole. So, and I didn't want to ever get in a situation where I would move him. If he had a couple of days where he didn't get a hit, and make him think like, man, if I don't get it done, I'm going to drop down. I think he'd be fine hitting anywhere, but I just thought, he's a really nice 5-hole hitter because of the damage he can do.
The last week you said that Simeon reminded you a little bit of Buster Posey in like his approach and his work and the way how intense he is about everything. And I was kind of curious if you've put any thought into maybe who Corey Seager in your time in baseball, kind of who Seager reminds you of.
Wow. You know what? I haven't put any time. I wish you would have given me a heads up on that.
We'll get back to that one. You know what, Boch? We'll get back to that one next week.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little homework assignment.
Yeah, I'll work on it because Corey, he's such a big shortstop. I mean, you don't realize how big he is until you stand next to him. 6'4", I don't know what, I'm guessing 230, somewhere in there, but just don't see a lot of guys like that. I mean, Ripken, you could say, but he was a right-hand hitter, but he's such a good hitter. But for his size, you saw the plays. If you were watching the game yesterday, the plays he made, he's got such a good clock on him. He knows when he's got to speed things up, and he knows when he can take his time a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to work on that for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Seager's been back for about 2 weeks, and he has 19 RBIs in that time. Nobody in baseball has more RBIs than that. And Boch, one of the guys I was most impressed with in my life was Adrian Beltre. Could miss 2 weeks or 2 months because of injury, and then he'd come back and immediately go 2 for 4 with a double and just keep batting 300 no problem. And Seager seems to be doing that right now. He's come back from injury, had some time off, and it just looks like he's right back into the groove that he started with. Can you explain how certain guys almost don't need rehab or don't need those, let's say, 50 at-bats to just be right back into the groove against major league pitchers?
Well, it's a hard one to explain. I guess the best way I could explain it is the fact that they just have a gift. Hitting comes pretty easy with these guys that can do that. He spends a lot of time. He's a student of hitting. He gets to the park early. He has his routine he goes through, and he's relentless with it. And he didn't, waste any time as far as doing some things offensively. Even though he couldn't take a swing, but just working on his his stance and things like that, where the bat is. You see him all the time working on it, and I just think he's got such great hand-eye coordination. I think he's got, I can't say this for a fact, but he just seems like he's got great vision. He just sees the ball so well, and because he's aggressive up there, as you know, and he's letting it go. And if it's in the zone, he's got a knack of getting a barrel on it like I haven't seen in a long time.
Rangers manager Bruce Bochy joining us here on the KNC Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. Did you know y'all were signing 2 aces this offseason? Because we know what we know about DeGrom. When he's on the mound, he is the best. But Eovaldi has just been phenomenal.
He has been. I agree with you. And, yes, I thought we were getting 2 aces. In fact, I've touched on this. One game we had lost 2 or 3 in a row, and DeGrom went out there and won the game for us. And I forgot who asked the question, but it was, is this why you got them? You know what? I feel like that with all our guys. And I'm not just saying that, but you look at what Martin's doing now and how well he's pitching. He's going tonight. I certainly don't want to jinx him, but hopefully he'll just go out there and do his thing. But really everybody, John Gray's been locked in, Heaney, these guys are just doing a tremendous job. But to your point, Eovaldi was a guy that I thought the same thing. He's another number 1 guy. I've always liked him. I've seen him quite a bit, and I've seen him, of course, pitch very well in the postseason. He's a winner, and he's got 4 pitches. He's got velocity. He's got movement. And he's got really good command of all his pitches. So I'm not surprised about what he's doing.
And to that point of on the pitching staff in general, how much does good pitching affect the offense? And this could be technical or just in general. Does it allow you guys to be more aggressive at the plate, and what kind of confidence does it give the hitters?
Well, I think in general, I'm talking about in the clubhouse, that sense of confidence is going to run throughout the players. They know when whoever hits the mound that they have a chance to win the ball game. We just have to find a way to score some runs for them. I don't think it affects them how they approach a pitcher or their at bat in that game. I just think that they feel that they can win the ball game if they just do their thing. And that's talked about in the hitters' meetings. They know how good this pitching is. So, if they can do their thing, score some runs, there's a good chance we're going to win the ball game.
The phrase you use, sense of confidence, are you starting to feel that more and more with the bullpen? We saw all 3 of these guys yesterday, but Brock Burke, 3 straight scoreless outings. Hernandez, 3 straight scoreless outings. Leclerc, 4 of his last 5 outings were scoreless. Have you seen anything different, or have y'all done anything different mechanically? And what have you seen from those guys over the last handful of outings?
Yeah, Mike Maddox and I were just talking. He just left when you guys called, and we both said I really thought yesterday was big for those guys. Johnny, 2 innings. Bert, nice clean inning, and Leclerc. It's important to get their confidence back because we need them. And, you know, they're part of our bullpen, and you know, with Sporzy, he probably needs another day or two. You know, we have to use these guys, and it's going to be up to us to show confidence. So they have, you know, they feel it, and so you know. I'm knocking wood, you know, an outing like yesterday does so much for them, or the last, you know, 2 or 3 outings to get them back on track. They have the stuff to pitch very well up here. They've done it. They should know they can do it again. We all get derailed at times and you know, hit those bumps in the road, but it's going to be nice if they do get back to who they are, and we'll have the bullpen that we thought we would have as we started the season.
Which conversation have you enjoyed more thus far, talking to us or talking to Mike Maddox?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like this one.
Yeah, no, it's always good to get a break, you know, just talk to you guys. I talk to Mike every day, so I talk to you guys once a week. So it's, you know, it's good to get a break. But I tell you what, I love talking to Mike, you know, with his experience and just talking pitching. Or not just pitching, things that's going on in life, golf, whatever. So he's been just a joy for me to have around, and you know, have another. He's not as old as me, but have another guy close to me anyway. I can talk to.
Well, Boch, I love the other day. Cody Bradford came back up to the major leagues and had a really nice outing the other day, only giving up 2 runs. And in that first inning, when Maddox had to visit him on the mound, I thought Bradford gave great insight in the postgame, and Maddox asked him the question, hey, what got you here? Why kind of are you in the major leagues and obviously on the mound? He said, well, my changeup. And he said, well, what about your fastball? Can you kind of talk about whether it's talking to young pitchers or young hitters in big moments or pressure moments to try to get them to just be at their best in kind of the stressful situation of trying to perform at a major league level?
Yeah, and you know what? It's really a good, really good subject. I think it's a separator between you know, average pitching coaches, good ones, or even great ones, and that's part of you know, what makes a good pitching coach really good is having that ability to get inside their head in basically 30 seconds when they're in the jam, and get them in the right frame of mind. And Mike's already shown how good he is at that. And you know, Bradford, he mentioned it. So you know, it's a gift, and you know, it comes with experience, time, but it's such an important part of the game because during the course of a game, you're going to have those turning points, a tipping point in a ball game, bases loaded, nobody out, which we've done a great job of getting out of those jams. But you know, it can be, you know, any point in the game, and you know, Mike likes to go out there, and he's very calming influence, but he's got the knack of saying, you know, something that's going to get them back on track.
Now, the other day, Boch, I heard you say you just found out that, you know, in 50 games that was the best record the Rangers had ever had in the first 50 games. And then you said, but we got a lot of baseball left, so we got to keep that in mind. And I started to think as I was putting that in, like, we feel like we've been saying we got a lot of baseball left since game 1 this year.
Right.
Like everybody wanted to freak out and be like, oh, man, World Series, here we come. But there is a mindset of it's an everyday grind. You gotta go through that and put the work in on an everyday basis. But when does the point come? And I don't know when if you can just give us that time. But when does it come when there's not a lot of baseball left? When you're like, okay, we've accomplished a lot of baseball. What time in the season is that for you?
Well, I think you have to look at where you're at in the standings as you go into August. And see where you're at. You know, at that point, you know, there's probably going to be quite a few teams in the hunt for the postseason, and basically that becomes a sprint. So you can't say it's a marathon anymore. You know, there's a lot of baseball left, but you know, with you know, hopefully our mentality is, hey, you know, we've done a really good job. We played some great baseball. Our record's good, but this is no time to get complacent and rest on you know, what's happened, our laurels. You got to keep marching at this point, and you know, you haven't gotten to the dog days, as they say. You know, you get into, you know, July and August, early part of August, or you know, late June. You know, those those are separators too. So you got to just remind yourself to stay focused, and that's what the really good teams do. Trust me, it's easy to drop your guard and say, okay, you know what, I'll just say this on a series, for example, we didn't get the sweep there in Baltimore. We took the first 2 games, but hey, we were greedy. We were going out there trying to get that third game as hard as we could, and unfortunately, it got away from us. But that's just the point. That's the same thing now. We got to keep going out there trying to get series. If we get the first 2, let's try to get that last one as hard as we can. Let's get greedy right now.
Stay greedy, Kevin.
I agree.
I like it.
I'm with that. It feels like the return of Mitch Garver is obviously imminent. How excited are you for that? And then how far in advance do you have to talk about logistics with the front office and everything? Is like, well, when he comes back, we're going to need to make this move, or we're going to need to make this corresponding move. Like, how does that all usually play out?
Yeah, he's getting pretty close. We've already started talking about that on moves we may make. Again, it changes daily. For example, Duran, he went down on it, so we had to make an adjustment. So anyway, a guy like Dunning, he had to take off for a few days, with his newborn baby. And so, you don't know what's going to happen, but we have a good idea of what we're going to do if nothing happens. So it's all about adjusting on the fly if you have to, but not, we pretty much know the moves that will be made when Mitch comes back. We're excited to get him back. We're excited to get that bat. And, he's doing well down there, so good news there.
And I got to know, since you brought up Dane Dunning, has he shown you any baby pictures yet?
No, I told him he apologized for not naming him Bruce. I said, you're not starting because you didn't name him Bruce. So, but no, seriously, no. And Will Smith got him too. How about the guy showing up with no cigars yesterday, or flew in? So anyway, no, he's all set to go Wednesday, and it's good to have him back.
Fantastic stuff, as always. We love talking with you. Looking forward to it next week, and congratulations on all the success thus far.
All right, guys, thanks. I will talk to you next week.